All right, what is up, everyone? My name is Chris, and today I'm going to be talking about the possibility of there actually being a June draft before all of the Stanley Cup Playoffs, before we're even able to begin hockey again and finish the rest of the 1920 season. So there was an article that came out that I saw on Twitter from Elliott Friedman of a bunch of different things that can happen with this NHL draft coming up, and a bunch of changes with the lottery picks and all that stuff, all the conditional trades and the conditional picks, things like that. So Friday night, after teams received the NHL's Position Paper on the possibility of a June draft, there were several reactions. Some wanted change from the original option of "this is terrible," and this is "quote unquote this is terrible," and I don't support it. But the biggest response was resignation. It sure reads like this is what we are doing. Get used to it. So that's basically what's happening here. There's just a lot of GMs and representatives that don't necessarily support it, but there's really nothing they can do. I think they're doing the best they can. And this is a couple things that would happen here with the draft. So if the draft is not moved up and it's just in June, the best case scenario would see the Stanley Cup awarded in early to mid-September at the earliest. That would leave a short window for the lottery and the draft before moving on to all other necessarily league business before the 2020-2021 season begins, which we could now know could be December. So that was another thing too. The season could get pushed back to December. They would shorten the Christmas break, get rid of the All-Star game, the bye weeks, and it would be an 82-game season, and things would just kind of go later until like May, and then in the playoffs would be even later. So that was another thing. It's crazy. It really is. There's a lot of different things. So basically, there are teams that can't move up. So what they're doing here with this draft order is that there's some teams, like the max you can move up is 4 spots. So it's not like how it was when the Flyers drafted Nolan Patrick when they were projected the 13th spot and they went to the 2nd overall and got Patrick. That can't happen this draft. So it's like there are some teams that can some teams are screwed. That's basically really what it is, because they're attempting to go by points percentage. So my reasoning of them going by points percentage, they have to make it where it's fair, where the worst teams in the league get the higher picks, the best teams in the league get the later picks. So my guess is that Boston would have to get the 31st pick since they're the best team in the league if they do this before the Cup final. And the Flyers being 6th in the league, they'd probably get around 25, 26, or 27, something along those lines, late to mid-20s. And I was kind of already expecting that pick, even if the season was fine. I would have rather had 31, but even still. There's a bunch of things that and like this doesn't really affect the Flyers, but it's just crazy to see how this would be, because now they know the draft is online with the whole NFL draft being like that, and how that went online. So basically, for the conditional trades, as I said before, the league would propose solutions. So the teams would have 7 days to either reform the deal on the terms acceptable to both teams or accept the NHL's idea. So that's basically just, you have to do this or you're doing that. And that's basically all there is. And then, as I said, the point percentage. So, and that's with the same format. So the 15 teams would be in, the 16 would be out. And that's the 15 worst teams in the league, 16 that were all making the playoffs. And then they could change the lottery. So it's only changing the lottery format for this season, picking just one winner and limiting any move up to the max of 4. So as I said before, it's only 4 spots. So teams like New Jersey, Buffalo, Montreal, and Chicago can't jump above to 2, 3, 4, or 5 respectively. So none of those teams can get above that because they've had so many in recent years. And as for Detroit, they can pick no lower than 2nd. Ottawa, they have San Jose's pick, which is just hilarious. They could do no worse than 3 or 4. So it's like, basically, they're trying to make this as fair as possible. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen with this whole draft. It's definitely going to be different online. I mean, I just can't see them doing it before the Cup playoffs, but if that's how they're going to do it, that's how they're going to do it, and that's really what we're going to have to deal with here. So again, let me know what you guys think below on this. I think it's a pretty cool idea. I'll put a link to the whole article by Elliott Friedman here in the description below if you want to check that out. And again, guys, remember, podcast articles, those links are on my channel. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'll see you guys in the next one, and goodbye.